What's up, beautiful people? Listen, welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be checking this video and it's titled "Why Harry and Meghan Are Happy Following Nigeria Tour." Interesting. I'm excited to check this one out to hear what they've got to say. Let's check it out.
Harry and Meghan are back in California now after their tour in Nigeria, and they've told the publication People that they're feeling much better now than during their visit to Africa in 2019. Meghan said, "We're just doing great, happy to be watching our family grow up and evolve, and of course I'm happy, we're really happy." Well, it is refreshing to hear them say this. I suppose it's a different tone than what we've heard over the past few years. What do you make of this royal tour that wasn't a royal tour, and what they're saying about it? Are Harry and Meghan's attitudes shifting?
Let me tell you why they are happy. They are happy simply because, well, I mean, I'm not in their minds, but I think they're happy because, surprise, surprise, they received good press from the tour. The Mail, the Daily Mail called it almost presidential, which is for the Mail in this country absolutely unheard of. So the fact is, the press were glowing about them. So of course they're going to be happy after that. You know, after South Africa, when in the tour of Africa back in the day, there were reports of a fire in Archie's room and things going wrong, even though they actually received good press at the time. They weren't happy with the fact that the press were holding them to account. For example, Prince Harry's lecturing of climate change. Of course, he gets that from his father, who's very passionate about the environment, but one can't help but feel it's not necessarily, the best thing to lecture the public on environmentalism when you're taking private jets here, there, and everywhere.
Yeah.
And Elton John coming out saying, well, it was a sustainable flight. Really, Elton? Love you, Elton. Love your music. Stick to the music, Elton. Thank you very much. But that's the thing. They couldn't handle the criticism. They didn't like the pressures of being in the institution.
Exactly.
So of course they're going to be happy now, because this quasi-royal tour that wasn't a royal tour was all done on their own terms, in their own way, and they told who was there and who wasn't. I mean, the Mail's write-up actually was saying how it was almost presidential because they were being surrounded by Secret Service agents all muttering into their microphones, and Meghan had a slew of stylists and aides fluttering after her every move. So of course they're going to be happy with that sort of write-up and that sort of press, especially when they control who was there. They do it all on their own terms, not necessarily on the royal family's terms. They're doing what they want when they want, and they received a good write-up for it. So of course they're going to be happy with that. If they weren't happy, I think that would prove them to really be the most privileged, miserable people on earth. Or should I say, the most miserable, privileged people on earth.
Well, I think they've already proven to be that, so it's nice to hear that they're no longer complaining and whinging and rubbishing the royal family for now, of course. But
Of course, they would be happy because, I mean, this is the kind of treatment they want, just like what was said there, and that is true. The kind of treatment to treat them as such with high regards and everything. And I mean, lots of people already know Meghan is a trained actress, and she loves to control the narrative and be in the spotlight. So she's almost like camera ready all the time. So you see her like posing here and there, even the smiles and everything, giving all of that. I mean, of course, this is a good press and also presenting a good image or good forefront for her and her husband. So, I mean, they would be happy. The likelihood of them not being happy is very slim because, I mean, not much bad PR or for their business or for their brand or whatever. So, I mean, this is like a good image presented. But it's a good thing that people are sharing their thoughts regarding this as well. But yeah, let's go on.
of course, but let's move on to some more royal news, because the BBC has agreed to pay undisclosed damages to Princess Diana's former chauffeur, Stephen Davies, following a High Court case. Now, Mr Davies accused the BBC of making fabricated allegations that he leaked information before Princess Diana's famous interview with Martin Bashir. Josh, what more can you tell us about this?
Yes, so a document's been revealed that at the time of this interview in 1995, in order to procure the interview, Martin Bashir told both Princess Diana and Earl Spencer, the quote is, quote, Mr Davies, feeds Today newspaper, change your chauffeur. Now, he says this was completely fabricated because he was working for Princess Diana in 1995 as her driver, as her chauffeur, and then he was fired without explanation in March of 1996. And he said that these fabricated and unfounded allegations and accusations are a real, quote, blot on his character, so to speak. I mean, the BBC has been in really hot water over this interview. We know that Martin Bashir forged records to kind of deceive Princess Diana.
Really?
To kind of make out that those around her couldn't be trusted, that those around her may or may not have been leaking stuff to the press. So this is another member, close member of her household staff, who was part of her everyday life, who was accused at the time of leaking stuff to the press, and he thought maybe that's why he was fired without explanation in March of 1996. But now the BBC has, of course, been found to have almost covered this up, maybe, and the BBC have agreed to pay his legal costs plus an undisclosed compensation sum to him. They've apologized unreservedly. They've also admitted that the allegations were fabricated. They've admitted that the allegations were unfounded as well. They're keen to emphasize that they're a different corporation with different management now, that Martin Bashir no longer works for them in any capacity. And I think that the BBC are very keen to put this sorry saga to its end. Of course, Prince William has said that the interview should never be shown on television ever again. This was, of course, that infamous Panorama interview where Princess Diana said there were 3 of us in this marriage, so it was a little bit crowded there or thereabouts. And she also put doubts onto whether at the time Prince Charles, the then Prince Charles, was suitable for the big job at hand. So I think this is once again the BBC being made to look quite foolish here for what went on at the time. I mean, even we know the Crown doesn't always get things right. In fact, they got a lot wrong. I previously spoke to
Yo, this is interesting. I never knew much about this because I understand that lots of people don't like the royal family, and some people have their thoughts about them as well. But I always believe that people should respect them as such. But again, people had their thoughts regarding Princess Diana, and I keep asking, like, growing up, I knew that Princess Diana was likable, she was loved by many, yet people kept saying not so nice things about her, and people were also trying to also say some things and make her look bad, and also make the family look bad. And honestly, I'd just be like, sometimes these people are human beings, or they are human. But again, when it comes to the royal family, I give them the respect as such, and regardless of how people may feel, I also want to believe that people would still respect them as such regardless. But the fact that people want to see things and force them for almost everything is not making sense. But I mean, people have their differences, or people have their thoughts regarding this and the royal family. I also know that not everybody would like the royal family regardless of how things are. So I really love you to share that. What exactly are your thoughts regarding Princess Diana and the royal family, as well as the late queen? Because I mean, lots of people have different thoughts regarding this. Lots of people have their thoughts regarding the royal family, but this is interesting too. Let's go on.
Got a lot wrong. I previously spoke to Michael Cole for The Sun in a big explosive expose article where he said, you know, I put stuff to him, did this happen, did this happen, did this happen, and he said time and time again, that's wrong, that's not the truth, that's an insult to the truth, this is an insult to Diana. The makers did not respect Diana. So we know the Crown doesn't get it right all the time, but even the Crown showed the BBC to be falsifying the situation at the time of that interview. So I think even that speaks volumes.
And Josh, King Charles has unveiled the first portrait of himself since his coronation. The large pink painting by artist Jonathan Yeo, which is more than 8 feet tall, is getting mixed reaction. It certainly divided our office here in Sydney. Josh, what do you think of it?
I can imagine. I think I've got mixed feelings about it, because I think as an artwork it's beautiful, it's representative. He's dressed in the uniform of the Welsh Guards. That was, of course, he was made the regimental colonel for the Welsh Guards in 1975. He's got a sword in one hand, and then on his left shoulder he has a butterfly landing, of course symbolizing his love of nature, symbolizing his love of wildlife as well. Queen Camilla is said to be a fan. She was said to have stepped in during the last sitting, where she commented to the artist supposedly, quote, "Yes, you've got him." I mean, the portrait shows His Majesty the King looking gentle. He's got a very kind face in the portrait, but he's also looking determined. Experts have said the kind of bold pinky reddish color is meant to kind of represent the environment warming up, supposed to represent climate change, and the king's face, kind but gentle, kind of representing his determination to combat that as well. So I think there's a lot of representation here, which is a good thing, and I think as an artwork it's absolutely beautiful.
But
as a state portrait, as an official portrait though, it's a bit modern artish. I think it's a little bit progressive. I don't think it's what we necessarily expect of official portraits. I think compared to official portraits of Her Majesty the Queen, it kind of stands out like a sore thumb. Does it show that His Majesty wants to be a different kind of monarch? Yes, I think there is that representation in there that he's a new progressive monarch, and this painting is just one example of how the monarchy is adapting to the modern age. As an artwork, it's beautiful. I think it captures him in a really nice way.
Yes.
But as an official portrait, I think it's a bit progressive. Dare I say, there are kind of a bit woke representations in there. Listen, I think the monarchy, it's great that the monarchy adapts. I love King Charles wanting to be this progressive monarch. I love His Majesty King Charles wanting to be not just defender of the faith, but defender of all faiths, protecting religious freedom in this country, protecting minorities, emphasizing the inclusivity of the monarchy, saying that this is a monarchy for all, not just in the UK but across the Commonwealth.
Yes.
Lovely painting. As a painting, fabulous. As a portrait, jury's out.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you there. It's certainly not what you expect from a portrait, but it is growing on me as an artwork. Josh Rom, it's so great to speak with you. Thank you so much for joining us again on Power Hour.
Thank you so much for having me. Can't wait to be back.
Interesting, exactly my thoughts, because when I saw it I had mixed reactions to it, because I saw it on social media, and lots of people had their thoughts regarding it. Some people were saying not so nice things, and some people were sharing their expression on the portrait as well. But I also had a mixed reaction, but I was like, well, let's just see it from a different perspective, or from something, or from another angle. But it was giving exactly what he said. I mean, it just goes to tell you that lots of people saw it from that angle. But again, it's not uncommon for people to react differently based on what they saw, especially from the royal family or from the throne, because lots of people respect the throne and they always want to treat it as such, with high regards and respect. So they believe that whatever the throne represents or presents to us, it's deeply well thought through, and is also leaning towards that angle of the respect. But this is interesting though. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment down below. Lots of people have their thoughts regarding Princess Diana and other information going on. Even now, people are still talking about her. So I really want to know what your thoughts exactly are about her. I always see her to be really nice and respected, but it seems like lots of people want a different side or different aspect of Princess Diana. But this is interesting. Let me know what your thoughts are exactly regarding all of this. I'm sure tons of people have different opinion regarding this. I would really love to share that. You can share the useful information I think might be really helpful. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe and all of that stuff. And until next time, see you in the next video.